Hey everybody, Sam here again for their story. Today I'm joined by fellow streamer Ribombee Teacher. Bombi, how are you doing today?
I am not doing too bad. I'm awake. I've been dragged out of the basement. I'm here. I've arrived. I'm the first one up. I'll be going back to the basement afterwards.
Even better. So, for this one, as you know, I've mentioned it a few times. This is about your story, about coming as to a content creator. So, just to enlighten the people who are listening, what kind of content do you make?
So right now, I am primarily a Pokemon streamer, hence Ribombee Teacher. Ribombee being my mascot, of course, but also more recently, I've been moving into Phasmophobia, and I'll also potentially, so at some point soon, be adding Dead by Daylight as well, because I like using Dexper and I like getting bullied by my chat. But also alongside that, I do a lot of competitive Pokemon content over on YouTube as well. I also sometimes do talking head videos. I actually just did a series of 3 talking head videos for Sinnoh, obviously with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl coming out. I did a tier list. I did the best team, quote unquote, and I forgot the other one I did now. I actually don't even remember, but I did 3 of them.
All right, so
Uh,
we'll make sure to let them know where to find all that stuff. But as the title of the series go, Bobby, what made you get into content creating?
so we're going back towards 2018. At the time was when I actually quit teaching. At the time, and one of my close friends at the time, we were watching Pokemon streams together. At the time, we used to watch a lot of them anyway, and it just so happened at the time that she just turned around and said to me, "Is why don't you do that? You're probably better than some of them." And I was like, but I don't have a PC capable enough to do it because at the time I was using a cheap little office laptop that I was running around with playing League of Legends at 7 frames per second. So at the time I was like, I can't stream on that. It's not even gonna work. But eventually I was like, well, I've saved up money. I've got money with me that I just kept for a rainy day. And I used to build PCs for people anyway because at school, we had an IT technician who, to keep me out of trouble, he would take me in after school and whatever and be like, here, build this PC with me. So that's when my building PC bug started. And then throughout like the early stages of 2019, I was like, okay, I'll look up all the parts and buy myself a simple PC, nothing too expensive. Like I've got a pretty low end ish PC, but it runs pretty smoothly. I don't have too many tech issues. Um, or whatever. And I was like, fine, I'll give it a go. So like May 2019 comes around, I start my first stream and I failed dismally. I'll be honest, I was very timid. I didn't really know what I was doing. My layout looked so bad. I looked back at it because somebody clipped a moment from it, and it was literally just me like not talking for ages, and it was someone trying to see how long I could go without talking. And I was just like, what the heck is my screen? How was I happy with this at the time? But like that's kind of where it started. And at the time it was only my close friend that watched and my next door neighbor that watched. And neither of them really talked because they were lurking just to keep an eye on me for the most part. Um but yeah, that's when it started. And then I kind of carried on from there, really, after I realized that I'm actually not that bad when I open up. Because at the time when I started, I went through quite a serious mental discourse. Because obviously, I literally quit something I'd been doing for 8 years,
Mhm.
pretty much tirelessly nonstop. And I was practically running myself into the ground doing that. So, like, it was kind of a bit awkward because I was like, at the time, I just lost my direction and then
Mhm.
I had to try and find it again. It took me quite a long time to get into it.
Yeah, that can't be easy, but I found you, on your stream. I had a great time, and you've got now a permanent fan in me. I'm always gonna be there when I can. Love coming to hang out with you when you're
It's
streaming.
always nice having you there too, even if you hate Wobber-chan.
Oh, she's scared. I get nightmares. I get nightmares. For those who don't know, he's got a
It's on my hoodie right now.
yeah. That thing. I had a nightmare the other night about that. Not gonna lie to you.
She's all right, really. Like the funny thing about that one too is like I get memed on so much. I just think it's hilarious.
It's too funny. It's too funny. But
uh,
so that was your start. Now tell us about like kind of your journey to where you are now. Like some high points, some low points. Like what was definitely kind of the defining feature that really got you, that helped you to where you are.
uh, I think I got fortunate when I got rated to get affiliate because at the time I didn't have a clue what was going on. I didn't even have a raid alert set up because I didn't even know they existed at the time because like it was little old me streaming for 2 people playing a Pokemon MMO, but like who really watches that? And then I got raided by someone with 50 people in their chat just out of nowhere, and I was confused because at the time I had my chat on the other screen because I wasn't paying attention. Now I've changed the way I do things, but back then I didn't know. I just saw out the corner of my eye my chat was blowing up out of nowhere, and I was like, "What happened? Where did you all come from? What's going on?" And then I just saw 50 odd people in my chat. I ended up streaming for like 12 hours that stream. I only planned on streaming for 2, but like I got affiliate that stream. I got the email while I was still live
Oh wow.
that I hit affiliate. So that was definitely one of the higher moments. But I took other than that, like my first 10 months of streaming, I genuinely look back and I say I hate it. And it sounds weird to say that, but like at the time my layouts looked abysmal, like compared to what they are now,
Hmm.
which we'll get to that in a second. But
Of course.
compared to what they were, it was so generic. It looked pretty budget low end. Like my placeholders were not even lined up with my screen. Like everything was all a mess. It looks so bad. And I look back on it now and I'm like, what was I thinking? But then the high point then comes in when it all changed, sort of March of 2020, when uh, my friend Huddled Heracross and I and Corrupted Nitro, we were all just sat in a Discord voice call, just chatting away as we normally did because we were still playing Pokemon MMOs at the time.
Hmm.
And we are like, you know what? Let's see what other people are doing. So we just spent like an hour just browsing all of the Pokemon categories over on Twitch, just looking for new people to watch. And we were kind of getting tilted because we couldn't find anybody that we liked the look of because a lot of them had the same bad layouts that I did,
Hmm.
or no layouts or whatever. And it's like, it doesn't really draw you in. And then we stumbled across Hermes Game Corner in the last category we checked at the time. And we just came in because we were like, no one's going to be streaming Gen 4. Who streams that at the time? Because like people never did. So we just stumbled in on Pokemon Platinum. We just jumped on in. Was it Platinum? No, it was Heart Gold Soul Silver. And we came in, and Hermes' layout, god tier. Like
Hmm.
it stood out. We could scroll down the categories and like that one, and we both like zeroed in on it. And we just came on in. We started talking, and of course, Hermes, you know Hermes as well.
Hmm.
Like super genuine guy, like super nice guy. We're like, oh, that's a really nice layout you got there. And immediately, without any hesitation, we didn't need to ask where he got it from. He's like, oh yeah, Nerdo King made it. Like
Hmm.
he makes all of my layouts. And my friend, being the smart man that he was at the time, because I didn't even think about it, because I was just like, whatever. I don't like advertising that I stream in other people's streams. I never did.
Hmm.
I still don't to this day.
Yeah.
But um, and my friend started talking to him. It's like, oh, how much do you charge for your layouts or whatever? And then 24 hours later, he came back with a free one for me.
Ooh, very
He
nice of
just
him.
sent me a layout out of nowhere. And he said, mate, it's actually super nice to see someone come in and appreciate my work.
Hmm.
And he's like, here's a present for me. And I was like, mate, you need to do all of mine now. You can't just give me that one and then think I'm not gonna come back. It's almost like this drug dealer relationship, right? It's like they
Yeah.
tease you with a free one and then he tempted to get
Here's your
more.
free layout. Take my money. I'll take the rest now.
But that's exactly what I did. I
Yeah.
literally said to him, here's the kind of layouts I would like. How much do you want? And he's like, this. And I was like, perfect, I'll do it. And so I did. And he finished them before I even gave him the money. And he even sent them to me because he's like, I know you're going to pay me because you wouldn't have asked me otherwise.
Yeah.
And then, like, afterwards, it got to the point where I was like, I know it's a little bit cheeky, but are you able to send me some of the individual parts, like the placeholders for the Ribombee stuff, just in case I want to have a go at mixing things around a bit? And I was like, I was happy to put more money down. I was
Hmm.
like, I don't mind paying you a little bit extra if you want. He said, no extra charge, just tell me what you want. And like, he didn't even ask for anything more. Like, he didn't even ask for me to credit him or anything. I just did it anyway because I always do. That's been
Yeah.
my mantra for a long time. But and it was like such an easy process. And then like I remember the first stream since I had all the layouts upgraded, everybody came in and was like,
You just surprised them
wow.
all.
And then like I met more and more people from Hermes' Discord as well.
Mhm.
All have had layouts from Nono King too, and he's like, yep, you're addicted as we are now. And it's so true. And that's how I've met so many other people since.
Pretty
And like
much, yeah.
that's probably easily the biggest high point for me. Because it's like that's when everything decided to change, right?
Yeah.
As I accidentally knocked something on the floor. Don't even know
It,
what that was.
it happens to the best of us. But yeah, you like, you meet that one person who then just opens you up to the rest of everyone. So, I met Hermes oddly through a Smash Brothers stream. He wasn't even playing Pokemon at the time. And then I'm like, all right, let's see who these guys are. And I was like, I met you, I met Average Gaming, I met Nerd. I was like, wow, these people are really awesome. And I'm glad that, I'm hanging out with them and that they've decided to call me friends at this point. Because without you guys, I don't think I'd still be probably kicking the way I am today. So
Yeah,
it's always
it's
good to
always
have that
difficult.
connection.
It's always difficult getting that early phase, especially when things are quiet.
Hmm.
It's always difficult to kind of keep motivated and keep talking. Unfortunately, as most people will find out by the end of this podcast, I'm very good at not shutting up. So it works in my
But
favor
that's the part
sometimes.
that people love about your stream, and that's why I always come back because you're always keeping everybody engaged. And one of my favorite things about
Oh,
watching
I
you when you
answer
go
every
live.
message. And
Yeah,
I actually have
exactly.
the pro tip for that too. Because like people have asked me this. It's like, how on earth can I see chat so often? Because a lot of people do this on stream
Hmm.
where they're doing this, looking over at their chat. And you like that they're not looking at chat when they're looking at the screen
Yeah,
because you can see their chats over there. Well, my chat's right in front of me. So
yeah,
I actually have my OBS with the chat and all the extra sources and stuff on my main screen. The actual game itself is over there. It's on my side monitor. And people don't realize this. And I'm like, if you literally see me doing this, I'm looking at you right now.
yeah.
But
So
I'm not
actually,
turning my head and I can see you in my eye line at all times. That's how I do it.
I do the
And
same
like
thing as
people
you.
look at that, it's like, how did I not think of that? Because they want to see the game full screen on their nice big monitor or whatever. I don't care. I use a blooming preview. Because most of the time of the games that I play, the tiny little emulators that use, the windows are that big. You could just chuck it on a side screen.
Hmm.
No point. And you actually have it bigger on your preview anyway, because you've obviously made it bigger for the screen.
Yeah, you can change the size, so it's always a good thing. It's a good way to keep active with your community.
Yeah. Especially when you get bullied by a chat like I do.
Yes, you absolutely
You got to
do
be
get
there to give
bullied
it back.
quite often. You get quite bullied. I can attest to that. People like to get you.
All in good fun, though. I don't want to say
Oh,
that. It's not
absolutely
bullied in
no.
a
They're
bad
not
way.
being mean. It's always it's like a friendly bully at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
But so we're talking about the high points. We do unfortunately need to talk about some low points. Was there ever a time in your stream where it kind of like it definitely felt like more of a hassle, kind of felt like a struggle coming up, and you kind of try to like will yourself out of that little low point you hit?
I think the biggest one has also got to come from a rather similar time
Hmm.
to when I met Nerdo and that lot. At the time, my close friend who I started streaming actually passed away to COVID.
Hmm.
And obviously, even now to this day, it still affects me. Um, but yeah, when she passed away, for like the 2 weeks like prior to that, I'd gone off the rails completely.
Hmm.
And me being the daft idiot that I was, I tried to put a front on it and try to hide it and carried on streaming. And my regulars at the time saw straight through me. They were like, "Mate, you look a mess. Just you need to stop." Because it got to the point where like I wasn't talking very much. I was super timid. And like everybody knows I'm always out there laughing and joking. Someone was trying to joke with me and I took it completely the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's like that really messed me up to no end. And then um other things like that. I mean, I've had moments because my mental health is pretty bad. I have known psychological disorders, so those can really play me up sometimes to the point where I can just out of nowhere have an anxiety attack and just collapse on the floor.
Hmm.
And I've had moments where it's like I've had to cancel for so long, and then that hurts me even more because once I started enjoying stream a lot more, when I couldn't stream, I felt like I was letting everybody down. And I still get that bug sometimes when it's like, oh, I just can't do it. But like now I've kind of got a bit more of a shield thanks to a few friends of mine. I've now got PNG tuber avatars.
Hmm.
So like there comes a time sometimes where I can be like, well, if I'm not feeling well, or like if I can feel something's wrong, because the other thing that normally happens when I start feeling ill is I go very pale and to the point where it becomes obvious and a distraction. And in my head, I was like, well, if people don't see that, they're not going to come in and worry about it. So by having my PNG tuber avatar, I don't have to cancel as much. And that's worked in my favor.
Hmm.
But at the time, like the whole canceling stream things, it would happen so often that people would literally be scared that I wouldn't come back.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
that always hurts me the most when I feel like I'm letting somebody else down. And then everybody's like, "You're not. Seriously. You would have let us down if you tried to fight through it." But I'm lucky enough that I've had regulars in my stream for like nearly 2 years at this point that they know when something's wrong and they'll message me without hesitation.
Yeah, you always want to make sure your favorite streamer, like your friend, is always good, and it's always good to take that mental health time off. I know myself, I'm fighting through a depression myself, and I've had to take some time off to kind of
I'm doing that
refocus.
right now. Back really soon.
Yeah, which by the
I
way,
think this is the first time I've shown my face in like a month.
at the
This
time
this
of this
podcast.
recording, he's not coming back until December 13th. Make sure you
Yeah.
check him out when he comes back. It's always a great time and good mental health. All right, we were talking about mental health. It's always good. You're coming back on the 13th. Make sure you check out Ribombee Teacher when you can. Always a good time. You will not be disappointed. Even if you're not that into Pokemon, you'll get into Pokemon because it's just such a fun time.
Yeah, it's always fun. There's always something you can do. Like I pride myself a lot, and I love giving my chat tools to use any
Mhm.
kind of engagement. Like, and it can easily just be like simple channel point redemptions, but still it works. But that's something else I really love. Is my channel point redemptions.
Oh yeah, they're always
Uh,
great.
they're, they're
-1.
so much fun, and I can't take credit for all of them because my Nuzlocke ones I actually borrowed from another friend of mine. I just adapted them to my own chat, but
Mhm.
yeah, like it's one of those things where there's so many amazing things that you can pull from people. I'm just like, I
All
should
right.
be doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Like the channel points are definitely a good way to keep interaction with everybody. So with you're talking about your journey here. You've talked about kind of some of the friends you've made. Is there like any point, like any time you've had to kind of remove yourself from a situation from like someone who's like either causing too much problems or you've hit a point where it's like this man is actually going to push me over a bridge and like that's going to be bad.
Oh, I think we've all had plenty of those moments. I can
Hmm.
think of one particular time I was streaming Pixelmon at the time. We're going back early 2020 at this point, but and the server owner became incredibly toxic to the point where like he was flaming everybody else. Like he was copying some of my ideas for the server and then taking credit for it. And in the end, I'm just like, no,
Can't
I'm
have
out.
it.
I'm dealing with this. And then like I had one this year which shocked me a lot. Like somebody that I knew from Hermes' community actually. He's since been removed. I found out that he was caught being homophobic to other members of my community elsewhere. And I am ruthless with a ban hammer. I will say
Hmm.
this now. Anyone who griefs anybody in my community is gone. No second chances. Because it's just not okay. Right. I don't deal with that. Like I've always removed myself from toxic situations. I don't stand for it. I don't allow it. Because at the end of the day, I want everyone to be safe in my stream. I want everyone to have a laugh in my stream. That's what I want. And anyone who undermines that in any way, shape, or form, not welcome. And that's just
Absolutely.
how it has to be. But that's how I've got the community I have because I get rid of the people that undermine me. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I think we all have those times where we have to distance ourselves from people. And a lot of the time it can just be for simple reasons like stupid jealousy. Like I've had people even DM me on Discord just complaining that I've left them behind because as I've grown, I'm now getting double digit viewer averages per stream, which,
Hmm.
I didn't used to get, and they're still struggling at one or two, right? And it's like some of them would literally message me begging for raids. And I'm like, no,
No, you can't
you
ask
gotta
for it.
earn it. You gotta earn it.
One of the things that I like to do that I've always noticed that other streamers don't really do, it's you appreciate the people you meet. You
Mm.
definitely are, I think, a little more of a successful streamer than I am, but you still are friendly with me. You still interact with me, and that's the best thing I think you've done. I don't ask for you to do much for me. Just you say I'm a friend, I'm happy. That's all it is.
I mean, my door's always open. Like I've always said this to people. If you want to do a playthrough with me, just reach out to me. But
Absolutely.
my door is open. I'm not here to, just be a vehicle. Like I'm happy to work with people. Like I'm working with one of my very close friends, Mr. Barnes, who I met in real life, like in August,
Hmm.
right? Because I went to one of my other mods, Tiny Tina's wedding in August, and I met Barnes on the way back over in London because I'm I'm from the South Coast, but I was like, well, I'm going into London anyway because of part of my way home. So I met up with Barnes on the way through, and at the time, I was like, "You haven't streamed in a while, have you?" And he was like, "No." I said, "Do a playthrough with me." And he was like, "Sure." So like that's how the conversation went, quite literally.
Pretty simple. I
So
mean,
now I'm doing a playthrough with him.
I was gonna say, just to get you on the podcast, you said I'd like to share my story, and I said, "Cool.
Let's do it.
You want to come on
Easy.
tomorrow?"
Yeah,
And
it's
prove
not
it
that
was.
hard. Like it really isn't. But like that's the other thing that gets me though is I've had people reach out to me before, smaller and bigger than me. And the smaller ones always say the same thing. And I will say this to anyone who watches this, don't do this to anybody, but if you approach someone and ask to do a playthrough with them and the first thing you say is, "But I don't have many viewers or followers," they're going to say no to you.
Mhm.
It is as simple as that because that shows me that you're not confident. That shows me that you are only in it for the numbers game. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I just want to have a good time. I don't care about the numbers. Like, most of the collabs I've done are people smaller than me. I've only done one with someone who's bigger than me, right? And at that time, that person was actually still smaller than me, but grew faster because a lot of my community went over to support her as well.
Mhm.
So, like, it's one of those things where it's like, at the end of the day, if you reach out to me and you don't give me any negative impressions, I'm here. It's as simple as that. And I've had some unsuccessful ones. Like, don't get me wrong, like people not committing to schedules and things like
Mhm.
that. I've had that happen. I think we all do at some point, but then that's just where I just distance my way from that and then just do a new one. You know?
Absolutely. You always find those people who, like, they do it like one time, they want to get your name on it, and then they just kind of they move on to the next thing that they want to do. They don't want to continue.
I mean, Average Gaming and I have been going for months trying to do a souling together. We've barely even got past the second gym
I
at this
have been
point
watching
because
along.
we've constantly died a lot of it. But like Average is the exact same as me in so many ways. Like we have so much similar like attitudes towards content and things like that. But we're also incredibly easy. Like it's like, okay, when are we gonna do this? Thursday this time. And then like half hour before he's always there.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
he's always in my chat. Sometimes he'll go live before and do some solo content, whatever. And we've just slipped into so many patterns in that playthrough. It's kind of funny because like it got to the point where I introduced the first episode, and then I just said to Average at the end, "Oh, who would you like to raid?" Because I usually like letting my playthrough partner do the first raid on any
Mhm.
playthrough that I do because it's like it's just as much your playthrough as mine. So let's go meet some new friends. And then afterwards, we just swapped over. So he introduced it, and then I raided, and we didn't we didn't even plan that. We just slipped into it almost telepathily.
You just
But like
knew
that's how
what was
similar an
going
attitude
on.
we had.
You just knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Always a great time when you meet a good person like that. So, if you were to give advice, someone comes up to you and says, "I'm trying to get into content creating." What is some advice you'd want to give them?
I think the first one is just try it. Like, because I've seen so many people. Like, I had someone ask me this too. It's like, "Oh, I've watched your streams. I really like to have a go at it." And I was like, "Okay, sure. What have you got?" So he showed me, and I'm like, "It was very basic, but that's
Hmm.
fine. Like, I don't have a problem with it being basic. You're starting out. It's your first stream. Like, you're not going to be god tier from the start. I wasn't. I've
I
said this
definitely was
before. I
not.
was terrible when I started. Um, and but just have a go. And it's like, oh, I'll try in 3 months. Do it tomorrow. Download OBS. It takes you 10 minutes. Sort your sources out. Get that done and go live tomorrow. Like, that's it. Like, have a go at it. What's the worst that can happen? Right. And at the end of the day, it's like the worst that can happen is nobody turns up. But
Yeah,
that's going to happen. Right. Because the
your first
reality
time is
is,
always a hard time. You got to
just
find your footing.
nobody knows who you are. Like that's the point. Unless you've had friends before. Like that was the one thing that I had going for me is that I was obviously playing a Pokemon MMO and I knew people from the community anyway.
Yeah,
So as it just so happened, some of them would hop in once in a while. But it's like get to know people. That's the other thing I would always say. Get to know people. Like don't just expect things to come your way. Like you got to work for it. Like, I'll tell you now, like I mentioned it how I met Hermes. I
hmm.
do that all the time. Like I'm always looking at the Pokemon guys. I have them up right now on my other screen. I'm watching 3 other people right now as we're doing this. I do this all the time. As soon as my computer's on, I'm supporting streams. That's just who I am as a person anyway. But like you gotta what you gotta work with people. Like I think
Absolutely.
that's the thing. Like, if you want people to come to you, you've got to put yourself out there. Like, and obviously don't put yourself out there in a self promotion where it's like, yeah, I stream. Here's my link right here. People have done that to me before.
Oh, I remember
Uh,
that. Yeah.
the funniest example I had was way back before I started getting a bit of attention. I had one guy come into my stream and he's like, "Hey, I'm nuzlocking this game right now, but I'm better than this guy. Come watch me instead." And this is the one thing that I will never do again, but I did it just for a laugh. I opened up his stream on my own stream and I started criticizing his own stream on my own stream. It was so funny. My chat had a field day laughing as well. And the funny thing about it is this guy got red in the face when he realized what I was doing because he still had my stream up on the other screen and he saw his own stream and me criticizing it on the live. He went bright red in the face and then I was just like, banned. And then deleted him.
At that point, you gotta.
It was so funny. I laughed so hard at that moment because it's one of those moments that will probably never happen again. But it is just like, don't do that sort of thing. But have a conversation with someone. Like, maybe ask for advice. Like, that's something else. Don't be afraid to ask.
Always.
Like, like
I pitched
I
this
mean, I give
idea.
a lot of advice.
When I pitched this idea to, the Twitter group we have, everyone seemed to love the idea. I was happy. And people were interested in doing it, which was the best part of it. Like, I'm not doing this because, I'm trying to use your names. I'm doing it because I'm curious about why you got started.
Yeah.
There's only probably one person who I really know why they started, and that's because I told them to do it. And somehow he's doing much better than I am, so. I love to see it. He's a great friend of mine. I'm happy that he's got such a great community behind him.
Yeah, exactly.
But, all right, Bombie, so tell me now, what nice features, what big projects do you have coming back? What do you got coming up for you and yourself in the near future? Ignore the background of the TV.
Yeah. So, obviously, we are going to be doing a Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl co-op Nuzlocke with Mr. Barnes. I mentioned that before. My own solo Revenge Lock series will be going back probably early into next year, maybe before Legends Arceus comes out. Depends on how long BDSP takes. I'll also be having some extra monetization things coming in. I know a lot of people get scared when people say that on free content, but no. I've been looking into stream loots, which is fun. Like it is like paid package or whatever. You can buy packs and use those to interact with the stream. There's a lot of funny things you can do, and a lot of those are more powerful than my typical channel point redemptions. Like you can literally box my entire team and make me change to a new team, and stuff like that.
You're really going for the
I'm going ham.
challenge.
I'm going ham. All right, but it's gonna be fun. Obviously, Phasmophobia coming back. I have Dixper up, which is another similar service, but it's better for horror games, and that's where people can jump scare me to oblivion. Average has killed me several times with Dixper redemptions. It's pretty funny. But like that's going to be coming back. I mentioned Dead by Daylight potentially coming as well. I've been playing that a lot actually recently while I've been on my break. Been having a lot of fun with that, so I might stream that. We'll see. We'll see how that goes because I've been doing a lot of Friday Fright Nights, so that's where my horror games normally come in. I'm going to be streaming more. I think I want to do more uptime. I think that's probably going to be the best way for me to keep growing. Is to be up more. So hopefully, health permitting and move going well, which we're moving next week at the time of this recording, then I should be good to go to keep on pushing and keep on pushing because I'm hoping that I can start actually making a good income from streaming now.
Of course.
That's what I would love to get to.
I always see the Twitter posts where people's like picking on you for trying to, make money off of it. But if, you want to support, if you want him to be live more often, you got to support him.
It's an option anyway. No one's obliged to pay money.
You don't
to me.
have to do it, but it's something nice to do, and I don't get.
I don't ask for money on my stream. Like people always ask me this. It's like, why don't you do sub goals? Why would I? That's my answer. Why would I? It looks tacky. I don't like it personally when people do it. I don't blame people for doing it, and it is like a visual call to action. But at the same time, it's like I don't like asking people for money. Like, I feel guilty about it. I wouldn't ask somebody in the street for money, so why would I ask for it online,
Yeah.
Like, it's the same principle, but people still support me anyway. Like, Average has bought so many Dexper crates, I don't even remember how many he's got right now. But, like, he's supported so much just so he could jump scare me to death. Like, I literally have so many clips in my Discord of people jump scaring me with Dixper. It's hilarious.
Oh well. Oh, it's you know what? Again, it's because they do it because they love you.
Exactly.
They're picking
And I
on you
get
'cause
my own back anyway.
yeah, pretty
Ah,
much.
and this is also something else. I don't know if you noticed this. This is actually a mug from my merch store,
Oh wow,
which
I
is
actually
I
know.
have from a brand partnership.
I was gonna say I know you
These are
have
all of
merch
the
too.
these are all of the Pokemon logos that Malefic Top Cat made for me,
Oh
and I've
wow,
got them all on a mug.
that
Yeah,
is awesome.
that's cool to have. It's so nice that I get to wear my own brand, and I get to use my own brand all the time. It's like, not I'm always shamelessly plugging, but like I love this mug.
Literally, this
But
whole podcast right now is supposed to be you shamelessly plugging. I'm here to learn about you. I want you to shamelessly plug right now. This is what I want you to do.
this is my only brand partnership I've ever taken, by the way. It's a company called Savzilla who I work with quite closely because I know the owner personally, so that's the
I was
reason
gonna
I took
ask you,
it.
how did you meet
But
these guys? But if you know the owner, so
like a lot of it is like people will offer me stuff on Twitter. Like I've had so many companies approach me, and I said, "Well, what about this?" And they won't answer, and I said, "Yeah, no offer then." But like this is like essentially a merch company. That's what they do. They do
hmm
mugs, hoodies, cups, even pajamas if you want, and stuff like that. They do all kinds of different stuff, even stickers, but I don't like stickers, so I don't do those
yeah, I'm
myself.
not a big fan of stickers either. But
But like we're actually trying to work on opening a European based store because
mhm.
it's currently US based primarily. So
Oh, gotcha.
and shipping to Europe from the US, yikes, it's
Not easy, is it?
not fun. But like we're constantly working on trying to develop the company. And I love their product. I'm not gonna lie. Like I use this every day.
I can see that. I mean,
I'm not even joking. I use this all the time. It's on my stream. My Wabachan hoodie I have on when it's cold. Like, you know, my shirt underneath this has all my Pokemon logos on it and all. So like I wear my own brand because I love it. But yeah, like I'm always happy for that. That's the only partnership I've taken right now. And I work quite closely with the company at the moment. So
oh, that's always good. Yeah, Bambi's got an Instagram account, and people have tried to use her for sponsorships.
that's
And I'm
hilarious.
not joking, but someone wanted me to buy all their dog toys and like, all right, now post your dog using this. I was like, this isn't something professional. Like, this is just me. The dog does something silly. Boom, there's a picture. Like, you want me to use your toys? You're gonna send it to me then. I'm not paying
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, it's you don't want an ambassadorship for that kind of thing. You want an actual sponsorship.
Yeah, so I was
Like
like,
those
this
are
is
two different terms too. Like people, I've heard them. People try to use those interchangeably, but they are very, very different things.
yeah.
And
Someone's like,
that's
your
the other
dog
thing
could
that
be
catches
a
me.
spokesperson. I was like, my dog doesn't want to do any of that. She wants to keep being silly.
Yeah,
If you're watching this
I've
on
I've
YouTube,
had
you
an
could.
Australian makeup brand reach out to me before.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like on Twitter, this Australian makeup company reached out to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, you would be really perfect for this." At the time, my profile picture was my avatar that I use,
Yeah.
which is me fused with a Ribombee. They thought I was a girl,
Mm,
even though my character has a beard and a mustache. They thought I was a girl.
girl.
I laughed so hard, and I said to you, "Do you have any idea who my audience is?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, it's probably predominantly female." I said, "No, it's not actually. My audience is 75% male."
Australian
Uh,
beauty product here.
and it's like, it's so funny to me. And then you get other companies that approach me. It's just like, "Hey, yeah, we really like you. If you fill this paperwork, we'll get you your codes." And I said, "You haven't even had a conversation with me yet."
Yeah, that's actually one of the ones I got too. But it was for the
Uh,
dog, not me.
oh dear. Well, I
Again,
get them from me a lot
no,
because
the dog is more famous than I am.
says a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
Dear. We don't care about humans. We only care about animals doing dumb stuff. But like, no.
I have
But
said I would put a stream one time where I'd put a camera right in front of Bambi's crate with her sleeping all day, and I would see how well that did.
there's actually a cat channel called QD Avalanche that is literally just that. It's 24 hours of a cat camera. Like it's just a camera in a room full of cats, and they're running around doing whatever. And that actually gets like hundreds of views a stream. It's
Yeah,
nuts.
it's crazy that
The-
animals can get more than people.
yeah. But like that's the thing. Like people like cute animals because it's
They do.
a
That's the
good
thing.
way to pass the stress away.
Really is. Unfortunately, this one causes stress. Considering that she just turned on my TV.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh dear,
I'll come
but
home and she's
nah,
watching TV, and I'm like, "What?"
dear. Watching the news, falls off asleep like this. Yeah, but nah. But I love brand partnerships sometimes when they're all stupid. I think
See,
the most interesting one I had was a custom PC company.
all right.
And funny enough, another streamer friend of mine has been approached by the same company, but got a worse offer than I did.
Oh my god.
And like I was looking at this and I'm like, okay, but you're American based. So I have 35% of my audience is British. So how do you expect them to actually want to buy a custom PC and have it delivered from the States? Because it's literally going to cost like $300 to ship it,
Yeah, absolutely.
let alone the product itself. And then their commission rate they wanted was 2%. And I'm like, so for a $1,000 PC, I'm getting $20.
Yeah.
And you're getting like several hundred. Can you see why I'm going to say no to this? And they blocked me on Twitter after I asked them that.
Because they knew they were wrong at that point.
Because they knew they messed up. They thought they were just going to get an easy pickup. And I'm like, nope. The only reason they even approached me is because I was talking about PC parts with a friend
Oh,
of mine on Twitter. That's the only reason they even reached out to me. Because
gotcha.
like I talk about tech all the time. Because it was literally, oh, I've just bought the Elgato Wave 1, which I did because I used my money that I made from Dexper the first time I
Yeah.
used it. I made enough money to get myself a mic. Because I was talking about this with you before we started, but I was using this beefy thing for the longest time. This is a Blue Yeti Blackout. This is what I started with. And I did not realize how bad this was until I got the Elgato Wave 1. Because the thing with this is there's no software.
Oh Jesus.
Nothing comes with this, so you're having to use third-party programs to like balance audio, and it's super cumbersome and really annoying, and it's also heavy as hell. And then, like, the funny thing is, I'll move this so you can see it. Compare the size of this to my Elgato Wave 1.
Oh my
And
god.
this has software with it. And my audio has never been better. Like, my whole chat is just like,
You
wow.
sound amazing. Yeah.
That's so clean.
Well, my buddy recommended this microphone that I'm using currently. It's still kind of big, but it's not as like thick as that other one you were using. The stand
Yeah.
I'm using is garbage.
Yeah, like, I can make a stand better than that.
As mentioned here, I'll do it again for the people who didn't get to see it. It is a big thing that just hangs on the floor, and it's terrible.
It's a floor stand, which is even worse. Like, I have mounts clamped to my desk. Like, my monitors are mounted, clamped up on my desk. My key light behind is also mounted by a clamp. And then my boom arm's mounted on a
I need to
clamp.
work on the clamping, but it's crazy. Like I got Capri Suns everywhere right now.
Oh, I've got a can of energy drink that I finished just before we started. So
Well, I
I
was
know
streaming
that
last
feeling.
night, and there's just a scene of me sipping on a Capri Sun. Like, yep, this is adult money right here. That's my adult money. That is what I've done.
Yep. Spend it all on Capri Sun.
Of
Capri
course.
Sun and Haribo.
And Haribo, yes. And Haribo. Well, actually, no. One of my adult monies. Do you know the game Pikmin?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yes. My girlfriend is terrified of it though because of the eyes.
Well, yeah, I can imagine. I actually have a Marshadow one right here.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I won this in a giveaway. A friend of mine was doing.
I've had
And that's
this
cool.
one since I was a kid.
My Ribombee one's over on my bed behind me right now, so I'm not gonna go get it. But
Yeah, I don't blame you, but I've had this since I was a kid.
man, Lapras really didn't last very long.
No, well, I mean,
Didn't really go too well. It's just like falling on its back. The back's gone all flat. There's no points on it anymore.
I was gonna say you can see all the Yoshis behind me too that
Yeah,
have amassed
exactly.
over the year.
I'm not much of a plushy person. Just like this was really cool because this is actually Marshadow essentially in its pose for using its signature move
Yeah.
in the games. So that's cool.
Well, Ribombee Teacher, it was awesome to hear your story. To let people know where they can find you, do you want to plug some social medias that I'll also put in the descriptions?
Yep, absolutely. So the main place you will find me is over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Ribombee Teacher. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Ribombee Teacher, because I have over 100 subs on there. I get my own URL. Woo! Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Ribombee Teacher as well. pretty much anywhere you see Ribombee Teacher, that will be me for the most part. But it's mainly Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, also my own Discord as well. If you want to come and hang out, we do have a lot of fun over there sometimes. We talk Pokemon. And of course, we also support everyone else's streams too. I do let people promote my Discord as well. So if you do stream, that would be a good time to come and hang out. And then I will come check you out as well because I do. Everyone who posts in my Discord, I watch. So definitely come and hang out. And it's been a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you saying you'd like to come on. I loved hearing the story. It was a great story. And for the people who are here, make sure you check them out. All the links will be in the descriptions below, whether on YouTube, Spotify, wherever it ends up. There will be links to all of his social medias. Make sure to check it out. Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure being on here. I look forward to seeing all the newer people that come on in. I always watch everything you do anyway, so it'll be nice to see some other faces that I haven't yet met. That'll be awesome. And then I guess I'll be going back to your basement after we're done recording.
Pretty much, yep. We'll get you ready for the next one. I appreciate everyone for listening. Again, make sure to check me out on all my socials, Dudes on a Couch, even though it's just a dude. We like to keep you all on the couch and you're all dudes on the couch. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care.